Tier 5 Takeover. Welcome back, everybody, here on our quest, I guess we'll call it, to try to reach the Heisman division in Road to the CFP using only Tier 5 teams. So we started a brand new account. We were 0-0. We're starting at the very bottom, climbing all the way up, focusing just on these bottom teams. Today, that is going to be the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. Fun personal fact for you: when I was like 18, this is back when I was playing poker online, like professionally. This was 17, 18 years ago. Jesus, 17, 18 years ago at this point. I looked into moving into Murfreesboro. I like the looks of Middle Tennessee. I like the looks of the city, and there was no state income tax, but never panned out that way. Anyway, this is definitely one I've never seen anybody really use too much before, but just going through the rosters, I really like the looks of this team. And actually in this episode, we are for the first time going against a Tier 1 Texas Longhorns team that's really going to put Middle Tennessee to the test. But what we got on this team, again, we have another dot ability on our 79 overall, 83 speed quarterback. Kind of like what we saw with Marshall. We're fast enough where we can get out and run if we have to, but we also have dot and step up to help us with some of these throws. We love to see that. Halfback, you got a few options of what you want to do here at halfback. You got the 6'1", 195, 91 speed. You got the 5'11", 197, 92 speed. We have another 91 speed with Recoup and Shifty, but he is a lot smaller, 5'7", 173. So you can really just pick your poison on which of these guys that you want to put in. 3 91 plus speed halfbacks, very good. I think we just keep this Credle in because I liked his size more so than the other guys. I mean, you could definitely put this Frank Peasant in. Either way, good halfbacks. You're doing just fine with both those guys. But wide receiver, so what we end up doing here: Stewart goes at 1, Kelly goes at 2, Lazy goes at 3, and honestly, that's about it. But with the Middle Tennessee State playbook, they do have 2 variations of spread. Both of them have the tight end spread out wide, so we really only need 3 wide receivers on this team. We have 3 92 plus speed receivers. No abilities on any of them, of course, but having 3 guys with that kind of speed, we'll see, it pays dividends. And you can also put in one of those halfbacks if you really wanted to down here, but we didn't really need to do that. Right, because you could put another 92 speed up here if you wanted to with this halfback. Get Peasant up there. Now we have 4 92 plus speed receiving threats. Pretty good Middle Tennessee State. And this is one of the real game breakers of this team. This tight end that we do have, who's going to be out in those spread formations. 86 overall, 87 speed, gold cutter. 50-50, I'm still not entirely sure what that does, but cutter is going to help us a lot if we're going against people who's just running some man coverages. And to have a tight end with 87 speed down here, that's why them and James Madison are 2 of my favorites. James Madison we will be doing sometime soon. Coming up sometime. The next team, I'd be surprised if anybody's able to guess Middle Tennessee State was coming. I'd be very surprised if anybody's going to be able to guess the next team we're going to have on here. And in general, how we're going to do these series, because I still don't know if we can jump up more than 1 level in a season. I have no idea. So in this episode, we see, I'll actually show you guys too that this is a whole new account. I'll show you my record and everything. But I don't know if we can jump more than 1. Depending on how we finish a season. So our first game, we just search whatever tier. That's how we end up matching up against Texas, because we've already locked up our promotion. I don't care so much about the playoffs or winning titles in this series. I mean, we'd take it as a bonus. Essentially, all we're trying to do is move up the levels. So once we hit that promotion, we'll start doing some different things. Search tier 1, use some lower overall tier 5 teams like my NIU Huskies. We might have them coming up sometime soon here too. And like Air Force and Army and those kind of guys, once we lock up our promotion. That's going to be kind of how we're going to do this. But back to Middle Tennessee State. With these receivers, so yeah, our top 3 receivers, 93, 92, 92 speed. Very, very good. 86 overall, 87 speed tight end. Those are your 4 receiving threats. Then you have the 91 or 92 speed halfback out there with a pretty solid quarterback and 2 versions of spread. Love it. Love it. This team is almost made for me. I absolutely adore to see that. Offensive line, not great. We do have a strong grip on the left guard, and the right guard has some abilities too. But again, just not going to be a whole lot. And defensively, I think there's 1 grip breaker. Yes, Hickson. That's the only ability we got on D-line. It's better than nothing. We will take it. We don't love it though. Linebackers, I don't believe any of these guys end up playing for us at all. No, and again, I think I said it last time, this is going to be very, very typical when using these tier 5 teams. We really don't want to see too many of these linebackers out on the field. There are going to be some exceptions, if I remember right, but not a lot. So that's why we're going to be changing our sub linebackers here too. But corners, what do we end up doing here? So corner 1, 83 overall, 90 speed. 90 speed, as long as we can get 90 speed on 3 corners, we're sitting okay. And we have a bronze ball hawk on Raby. Jackson is coming out for sure. I love that he's 6'2". I hate that he's 85 speed and has no abilities, so he's going to come out for McDonald, 6 foot, but at least he has 90 speed. So now in our nickel defense that we love so much, we're going to have 2 90 speeds and an 89 speed. So certainly still not the fastest, but fast enough to at least mostly be able to keep up, as long as you're not trying to press jam Isaiah Bond or something like that. They can at least mostly keep up with a lot of these wide receivers. Free safety, I think we just keep this as is, but you could certainly put in this Mons just to get a little more speed in there. Or what I actually don't think we do, and I should have done, I just don't think I ever saw Mons down there. Strong safety, you're set here too. So down here, there's really not a lot we have to change, because slot receiver, I'm really only concerned if we just don't want to take off in the slot receiver spot, at least in my opinion. I prefer them to be on the outside. So the only thing we're really going to change here is our sub linebackers. We end up doing, I believe it is Williams and Smith, but what I probably could have done is I could have put Mons in at one of these spots, get a 91 speed, just get a little faster. But the Xavier Williams, I like him because he's 6'2", 205, so he can help out with the run a little bit more. And that Smith, I should have taken him out for Mons. I just never saw it. And then slot corner, we are actually set here. Farrell is who we want as our slot corner. So that is going to be the team we're rocking here with Middle Tennessee State. Again, we do have 2 games in this one, because it turns out people down at these bottom levels love to quit out of games pretty early on. So we got one against Tier 1 Texas, and then we go up against Army once again, much like we did in our first game with Central Michigan. So let's head over to our game. Texas up first. Let's see how we can do. So here we are with our new account. I can actually even hide my face here just for a second. So you can see we are 3-0. Recruit division ranked, what is that? I don't even, 1.678 million in the world right now. So we are on the way up here. Recruit division 3-0. Our 2 games with Marshall right here, and our game against Central Michigan. So we are going to hop on into it with Middle Tennessee State. And like I said, we are going to be searching any tier in this one because we've already locked up our promotion. I just want to see who is going to match up against, and it doesn't take long. Bang, Texas Longhorns. Well, let's see. So I already went through and made all of our substitutions we talked about earlier. On defense, what are we going to come out in here? Probably overload 3 seam. Yeah, we can already tell because of the zone he is on. Yeah, get our blitzer in that spot. So again, overload 3 seam. I talked about this a few times because this is one of my favorite plays. So when you call this play, you have this safety. The safety above the slot corner is in a purple zone. Slot corner blitzing, this linebacker blitzing. What adjustments we make, we put this safety instead of his purple zone out here. He's going to be coming down into a hook curl. And instead of the slot corner blitzing, he is taking that purple zone. Or we could do a hard flat. Against a formation like this, I probably should do a hard flat just to watch for any RPOs over here, especially against a team like Texas where they have a really big speed advantage. Then our blitzing linebacker, we kind of just move him a little more towards the middle, concerned about where the run's going to go. He does play action. We followed that really well. And our defensive end actually got out there, makes the tackle. Love to see that. And he just goes no huddle. That's right, he does go no huddle a lot. We're just setting it up the exact same way on defense here. Just moving our user over to this side, just in case, again, just mainly looking at the run. I should have probably had a hard flat over here again, so we're getting down to watch that. See, they don't have to be all that fast to be able to keep up with much faster wide receivers. They really don't. Especially because we are shading over the top almost all the time out of this too. So they're already starting off back, they're shading over the top, they can get back for him. Now watch this tight end on this. Oh, yep. I remember what happens now, because I was very concerned about this, because the big downside of this play is it is one of your defensive ends going into one of those purple zones every time too. So what I should have done is actually taken out both the defensive end and put in some like outside linebacker, somebody with a little more speed into those spots, and we can see why kind of right here, because the zig route is going to get open if he waited, but he ends up just chucking one deep and we don't catch it anyway. But he's going to have that zig route. Now, I'm concerned about this zig route more than almost anything else, because I didn't see much over the top that we really had to worry about. But if he waited and threw that zig route, that was going to be a first down. So I'm just staying on that zig route, and somehow he gets that and catches it right over our hook curl, but underneath the deep zone. Somehow squeezes that in there. As of right now, what we've seen from this gentleman, a lot of, some rollouts, some kind of guess passes, like he had that streak that could have been intercepted, the other streak that could have been intercepted, and then that one was awful close too. So we're staying in our defense. When we start like this and we're liking what we're seeing, we're just going to stay in it. Again, rolling out, and again, that guy's just so slow. He doesn't really get out very far. So I actually kind of, see, now I just said, stay in the defense, and I'm not going to. I forgot, I switched to our cover 6 that we've been trying. I didn't have time. I couldn't find it. So we're just in a basic cover 3. Cover 3 sky here, which honestly is fine too. But I just mentioned I don't want to change what we're doing because it's been working. So I change what we're doing, and he gets a big chunk play on us immediately. And so now we go to cover 6. So our adjustments here. This one gets a little tricky, and it's going to take some practice probably to be able to do it quickly. But in a regular cover 6, I'm going to see if we can actually get the play art, because I do usually check it after I have it set up. Let's see. Yes, okay. So in a regular cover 6, this is an outside quarter who plays like palms coverage. So that means he's essentially, you can think of it like he's manned up on the outside receiver almost. He is also in a deep quarter. He is in a deep half. And this right side kind of plays like match, because this quarter flat tells everybody else, hey, this is match coverage. Along with this linebacker right here typically being in a 3-rec hook. So those are both match principles. That side is going to be match, even adjusting it to a cover 3. This side stays more as a regular zone with a soft squat and a deep zone. What I do is I change it into a cover 3. So we put an outside third here instead of a quarter. We put an inside third here instead of the quarter. We put an outside third here instead of the deep half. And against certain formations, I'll take the 3-rec hook off of this linebacker and just put him in a hook curl, which obviously we did here. We keep the soft squat over here. So right now, this is still going to run like a match defense, because we do still have that quarter flat out there. It's still going to tell people, hey, we're matching here. We can shade over the top or we can shade underneath, is going to turn that off. So that is a big thing I like about this defense. It is flexible. The big thing we are watching here is going to be a streak coming right up here. Right, because he's kind of going outside as the third. The inside third is starting way over here. So this seam right here has got to be our main responsibility on this play. And I do really like this play. I think it has worked pretty well for us. We've tried it on our Class Champions series a few times. I just need to get a little more comfortable with everything we're doing. But here's all the adjustments we go through there. And we did keep the 3-rec hook there. And then our purple zone gets down there, makes that tackle on Bond. Very nice, very nice. And I think we're staying in it here, just judging by how many adjustments we're making. And he goes for the run again. We just try to clog up that area. Just give, especially on a 3rd and long, we just don't want him to be able to pull off some really crazy stuff. But really, so I flip here because we had this all kind of backwards. And I shaded underneath, you can tell, because now those stay hard flat. But one of the things I really do like about that play, and I totally just bailed on us, and he actually did a really good playmaker here too. So you can see, I don't know where I was going here. Terrible, terrible user defense. I stay right in your zone, and we're here. But he actually playmakers this tight end up, which is really good. Playmakers him up, throws it in there. Touchdown for Texas. A few I still feel like we could have intercepted, so I'm still feeling okay in general about the defense. I should probably go back to overload 3 seam, but I don't remember if I do. And then he's going to go for 2 here And what do I don't know what I call here. I have no idea. Cover 3 buzz match probably, I guess. Shade underneath. Okay. I mean, that's okay. I prefer cover 2 down here because a lot of people will just go right over the middle of the field, and our hook curl there just kind of let that one go. So down a quick 8 against the Texas Longhorns in Austin. We'll see how our spread air raid-ish offense can answer back. We are coming out spread Y flex, and I show you there who our guys are on that formation. Actually, we're going spread Y slot. It's the same guys. So I have wide receiver 1, 2, slot receiver, tight end, and our halfback, which we did leave as Kreddle. Yeah. And we're going just inside cross. And what we see here that we've seen multiple times, I think in every episode here so far, single high safety. This is probably cover 3. And when you're playing somebody online and you see a single high safety, it's pretty safe to assume cover 3. Not a lot of people run that cover 1 man in an online head-to-head game. So we go for that flood over here on the left that we've done multiple times. It's just such a good play. He gets a little jammed over there, but we still kind of had it. And then that 16 just Supermans up and swats it. But yeah, it was cover 3 sky. We did have that. We just need a little more air on that ball, and we would have been able to get that in there. So now we call it a different version of shallow cross, but I think we're going to set up something similar, but on the right this time, if memory serves me correctly. Single high safety. He was just in cover 3. Oh no, we do just call it as is. Take our halfback. Interesting. And we do see he was in cover 3 again. Now we must go for... I don't know what we go for here, actually. I could have sworn we did another flood to the right side, but I might be getting confused with something else. So we just go for the stick here, which has actually worked out really well because now he has changed his defense. This looks much more like a man, like a blitzing defense. So I love the idea of this with that slant over the middle, the halfback, depending who's manned up on him. Just a quick little curl, the zig over here. A lot of good man-beating routes on this play. And, oh, I actually like this even better. Streak that halfback. The problem is I highly doubt we'd ever have time to throw that. But if we are assuming this is man coverage, it's got to be one of these two manned up on the halfback. It could even be his user. It is Texas, but they're probably not going to be fast enough to keep up with him on a streak. Yeah, it was his user over there. We just fired the slant quick because we just didn't have time. But if we did have time, we were going to be able to bomb that to the halfback. So far we have seen cover 3 and we have seen a man blitz. That's been the only two defenses we have seen him call. So now we're going Y sail. This is what I was thinking of. I knew eventually we did a flood to the right. So we come out in Y sail because this is a good play to run against man or cover 3. We see he's got the single high safety. We are going to set up the flood over here on the right and look for our tight end. He gets bumped again. Pressure comes in. Somehow gets that throw off. Somehow gets it in there. First down, Middle Tennessee State. So we're seeing single high safety again. What is this? Oh, this is like drive. So what I should be looking at, since we're assuming he's at cover 3, we have a comeback over here on the left. Maybe we can get the seam streak. If not, just take one of the underneath. We could have tried forcing that to Y. You could try forcing that, but we're moving the ball pretty good. So, yeah, cover 3 again. There was just no need for us to force anything right now. Let's just take what he's given us. We're moving the ball well. We're hanging in there. We're doing just fine. He's now single high again, but he's kind of lined up differently. But what we're looking at is very similar here. We're looking for our good tight end. If he can get past this guy, if he's on an inside third, we might be able to hit A on this seam, or we'll have our halfback underneath on this little in route or out route. Stewart on kind of a deep dig over the middle. Let's see. Yeah, see, he got jammed again. If he gets a clean release, we might be able to do that. But we just take our check down to the halfback. Totally fine with that. Totally happy with that. Get another first down to the 24. Keep it moving. Okay, so now after the 2-minute warning, it looks like he's back in his man blitz here. And we came out in Y sail. Again, just a good base play to come out in. So we knew last time he did this, he sent at least 5. It might have even been 6. So we're going to block our halfback. And we're really just looking for Stewart on this, because we're presuming this is that man blitz that would have him manned up by this guy right here. We know his user is going to be right over the middle. So we don't really want to do a drag, something to attack here. We want to get him to the outside here a little quicker. This would probably be better flipped. Have the zig on that right side, but this works too. He clicks on and dives for some reason. Couldn't tell you. We're in on that zig route. It worked to the short side too. Touchdown, Blue Raiders. Just go for one, make it a 1-point game, get our defense back on the field here. We are going to be running, yeah, we're going back to our cover 3. And a big thing that we changed here, or cover 6, adjusted to a cover 3. The big thing we changed here down here was our shell is now a cover 2 shell. Because if you keep it on default, this outside quarter right here comes out pressed. So we switch it to a cover 2 shell, so he's actually starting backed up where we like him. Just gives us one less thing to worry about. And he comes out in gun split Z+, which I don't think I've ever seen anybody come out in. So props to this guy for that. And yeah, I just don't even know what to expect here. So I'm just following over the middle of the field. Just throws it up, gets knocked down. Okay. And he's coming out in the same thing. Now I decide to go to cover 3 buzz match. Again, couldn't tell you why. Don't know why I'm changing defensive coverages here. Oh, I actually do know why here. Because this motion this guy's going out on, swinging out, I like shading underneath using this defense a lot more, because then our hard flat is actually going to be, that's why I still have this coverage adjustment thing up. Our hard flat's going to be on our slot corner, so we can go down and go after this swinging halfback here. That's exactly why we did that. See? And he goes right down after him. He tries to just throw it up to Bond. I said at the beginning, almost like I knew this was going to happen. You don't need the fastest cornerbacks to be able to keep up with a lot of these guys running a zone defense. He quits. Middle Tennessee State knocks off the Texas Longhorns. We got one more quick one here against the Army Black Knights. And there's actually one thing I want to call out here really quick here too that we notice about this guy right away. So we come to pause and make our changes. We will see what pops up here. So he unpaused right away. He's making no changes to his depth chart, which is almost always a mistake. I don't think there's a single team in this game that just go in and leave their depth chart alone. Army, just from memory, I know has another 90-speed halfback sitting on their bench that you could put in. He was their starter earlier in this year. I think Robinson is his last name. So it's just stuff like that. It's putting him already at a disadvantage, and it makes us have to go a little bit quicker to get these adjustments. But anytime you see this counter pop back up, usually a good sign. So we're coming out, again, single high safety. We see it yet again here against Army. We're going to be staying in spread. I came out in a run and didn't really have my audibles set, so we just run it, just get past his user, cut that back inside, take our yards. But if we had our audible set properly, that would have been a cover 3 beating play. But he was actually in man that time, so it worked out that he was actually in a cover 1. So it does happen sometimes. Every other time has been a cover 3. But now we see him come out in what's presumably the same defense. It seems like down, what I've really been learning is down at like this recruit, there's these lower levels, a lot of guys don't like to mix up their defense very much, and they will just stay in one thing. So I'm assuming this is the same thing, and it is. We have our halfback wide open, we have the drag wide open, just absolutely going to kill man coverage, especially against a team like Army. And especially against somebody who didn't change who he has on his defense at all. If he's still going to have linebackers on the field, they are not going to be able to keep up with these guys whatsoever. We know that. Now we come out in Y cross. It looks like he's in that same defense. He essentially is, but he really took away our first read here, which is going to be Y on this out route. So we're going for Y or A on that crosser. And he actually got out there and kind of scared us off it a little bit, and his rush was coming this way, flushes us out to the right, and this is why we like having that 83 speed. We playmaker the halfback up and use him as a lead blocker, pick up that first down. So we're staying in spread by slot. So now, he was in cover 3 last time. Now I'm pretty confident assuming this is man defense again, because he brought that deep middle safety all the way down. There's no way this guy's in a deep third. I'd be shocked. This has to be man coverage, and this is just a deep blue zone. He might be usering or something just to kind of run around it like a madman. So we do our essentially inside crossplay. It's a little different. It's called like Z cross or something like that. We have the deep post on X and then an intermediate post going over the middle here on Y, and we're really looking for Y on this. But if that's not there, we do have a drag we can kind of bail out to here as well. So yeah, big, huge man blitz. This guy's coming in totally free. Y actually just gets totally totally jammed somehow by that linebacker guarding him. So we didn't have that. We tried to get B, but I think we just rolled out a little too far out of the pocket there to the right, hits him right in the feet. Man, there it is. So now, same thing he's doing here on defense. We are going to PA read. So now we're actually going to try. We saw the post last time didn't really get open. He got jammed, he got stuck. We're going with a crosser this time. Try to get a little quicker release and see if we can still hit him right over the middle. If not, we have this zig route on our tight end. So that's what we're thinking here. So it's the same big blitz. We can see right away, yeah, we have Y. You would have A if you wanted to wait for that. But we just take Y right over the middle of the field. Touchdown Lacey. Middle Tennessee State offense cooking up a little bit here. So on defense, immediately I'm disappointed in this guy. Okay, if you are gonna play Road to the CFP, I always say Road to the CFP, and you're gonna be Army, you can't come out and pistol open flex on your first play. You can't do that. Like some pistol, whatever, but a pistol open flex? Don't agree with you here, bud. Don't agree with you here, bud. I didn't even see what defense I was in. I was so mad. Okay, so that was cover 6, and I kept match. I did our third adjustment. Yeah, cover 6, and we definitely kept match. You can see how everybody was following it, almost like it was man coverage there. See, now he's in flexbone normal. Good man. It ends up not working out for him, but that's a good choice. So against this, what we're doing, and I already set my coach adjustments. I actually want to see if I can go back and show you guys what I do when I presume we're going against a flexbone team. Of course, he ended up not really running it. But the coach adjustments we change here. I should, yes, here we go. Read key, conservative, pitch key, aggressive. So your read key is going to be like your defensive end, an outside linebacker, somebody like that. Having that on conservative means they're going to play the quarterback. They're going to let the dive go up the middle on a triple option. They are going to stay home and watch the quarterback. Pitch key, option defense, pitch key means everyone else on the defense, once he kind of gets out and is running the actual triple option, they are going to focus on the running back. So our user responsibilities against like a flexbone triple option. If it's a run up the middle, we gotta dive after that. If it is a triple option and he does get outside past our contains that we'll have out there and our conservative read key, that means that leaves the quarterback for us to go get. So we watch a dive up the middle and then try to loop around and help out on the quarterback if he gets outside. All right, let's get to his second play here. So with those set and he's in flexbone normal, we actually go to overload 3 seams so we can get that blitzing middle linebacker to help out in case it is a run up the middle here as well. So we're going to keep him blitzing. We should be pinching our line. Yep, pinch our line. I could have done contains here as well, but he runs my personal favorite play out of flexbone normal. I love this play. It works very, very well. Usually, not going to work great against this defense. X dig, my favorite pass play. There goes the drag. I always watch the drag and then go back to the little curl, but he throws it right to our hook. That's the adjustment we make on this play. Instead of him being down in a purple going over here, we put him down in a hook. Works to perfection against X dig. We get that ball back immediately, and I think that's just game. I think our Army friend had enough of that one. Yes, indeed. So now we are 5-0 with our Tier 5 teams. We've beaten a Tier 1, a Tier 2, Tier 1 Texas, Tier 2 Texas A&M, Tier 3 Boise State. We just haven't played a Tier 4 yet. So we've beaten Army twice as well. So we're running the gauntlet here with these Tier 5 teams. We're having fun. I'm hoping you guys are too. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you next time. Like I said, I would love to hear some guesses of who the next team is going to be. Just throw out a Tier 5 team. I'd be very surprised if anybody gets it right. But I will see you then. Until then, take it easy.